How do you start playing jazz? And how do you start improvising over those beautiful jazz standards? Today I would like to share my approach to improvisation over jazz standards and share some tips that could really help anybody who plays the piano to start improvising from day one, regardless of your theoretical knowledge and vocabulary of the jazz language. First of all, I want to distinct between chord changes that are not connected to a specific melody and chord changes that support a melody. Jazz standards are obviously part of the latter group. Therefore, the way I view it, improvising over jazz standards is like a theme and variations. Oftentimes, when people start to play jazz, they go directly to the theory. Scales, nice voicings, cool jazz licks, beautiful chord substitutions, etc. To me, these are all tools that are very important to have, of course, so that eventually it'll help our imagination to bring even more interesting ideas while we create those variations over the theme. But without having a strong foundation underneath it, those tools really just remain tools. And it's going to be much harder to try and find ways to utilize them to help us build something meaningful when we improvise and ultimately tell a story, which to me, that's what it's all about. Now I'd like to show you how, even without having any theoretical knowledge of jazz, you can start improvising over those beautiful standards right now. So without further ado, let's dive in. To demonstrate this, I picked one of my favorite jazz standards. This one is from 1937. It's called Gone with the Wind. The music was written by Ali Rubel and the lyrics by Herb Magidson. So the first step would be to learn the melody and the chord changes of the song. But what I also like to do is learning the lyrics of the song, because knowing the lyrics really help us understand the shape of the melody. So here's a little chart that I made for you. Now let's start creating variations over the theme. The first step would be to change the rhythm of the melody and create variations with it. second step would be to start embellishing the melody, mostly with notes that are within 2 steps away from the original melody. Now let's start changing the range of the melody by jumping between different registers on the piano. Another thing that I like doing is finding what I call the skeleton of the melody and just playing with that. Now let's play through the song and try to combine all the different elements that we've worked on. So that's how you can start improvising and essentially creating variations over the theme of any jazz standard that's ever been written, even if you're just in the beginning of your journey with jazz. I hope this was helpful, and let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. And please also let me know what are some of your all-time favorite songs. On a side note,
for everyone, but specifically if you're new to jazz, I have one advice for you. Listen, 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 and listen more. Listen as much as you can. Listen to all kinds of jazz. Listen to jazz from all decades. Listen, really get yourself immersed in those beautiful colors and tastes and smells, because the only way to really get to know those rhythms and the feel of jazz and get acquainted with the nuances, the articulation, is by listening. Period.